The European Central Bank survey has shown that Eurozone firms remain optimistic about their growth prospects, but are also experiencing pressure on their profits, in part due to trade tensions. In its recent survey on the access to finance of enterprises, the bank reported that 8% more firms saw increased turnover in the last 3 months, and 23% are optimistic about the next quarter. It added that approximately 30% of firms are concerned about supply chain delays or shortages, prompting them to seek alternative supplies. A senior EU official has confirmed the European Commission proposal of bumping the fee for visa-exempt travelers arriving in the bloc to short stays from €7 to €20. Visa-exempt travel to 30 European countries will become available in the last quarter of 2026 through the new European Travel Information and Authorization System known as ETIAS. These countries include all EU member states except Ireland, along with Iceland, Norway and Switzerland. The Commission has submitted the proposal to the Council and the European Parliament, which have to endorse it, as the ETIAS fees are set to generate an additional €300 million per year. Leading German companies, including Siemens and Deutsche Bank, have announced a major investment initiative aimed at re-securing investor confidence in Europe's largest economy. The 61 companies have collectively pledged €631 billion of investments by 2028. According to the companies, the €631 billion include capital investments, expenditure on research and development, as well as commitments from international investors. Chancellor Friedrich Merz hailed Germany is back following his meeting with the CEOs at Berlin's Chancellery.
Deutschland ist zurück. Es lohnt sich, wieder in Deutschland zu investieren. Wir sind kein Standort der Vergangenheit, sondern ein Standort der Gegenwart und vor allem der Zukunft. Diese Bundesregierung will Deutschland wieder nach vorn bringen. Wir wollen Investitionen ermöglichen in neue Technologien und Innovationen. Wir wollen das Investitionsklima in Deutschland verbessern. Wir haben zahlreiche Unternehmen gesehen, die sich der Initiative angeschlossen haben. Herr Busch und Herr Sewing werden gleich noch Details dazu nennen, aber vielleicht nur so viel. Es sind über 60 Unternehmen, die mittlerweile Investitionszusagen von über 600 Milliarden Euro gegeben haben für die nächsten 3 Jahre, also für die Jahre 2025 bis 2028. Das heißt im Klartext, wir stehen hier vor einer der größten Investitionsinitiativen, die wir in Deutschland in den letzten Jahrzehnten gesehen haben.
Wir hatten einen ausgezeichneten Austausch im Kanzleramt. Wir erleben hier meines Erachtens eine Regierung.
Still in Europe, a firm survey has shown that British consumer sentiment had a marked fall for the first time in nearly 3 years last month, reflecting increased worries about job security. The Consumer Confidence Index dropped by 2.6 percentage points to 10.4% in the second quarter, its lowest since the first quarter of 2024. This was the first notable decline since the third quarter of 2022, a period marked by double-digit inflation and financial market turmoil following former Prime Minister Liz Truss's budget. However, the firm considered last year's minus point dip statistically insignificant. Britain has announced that it will overhaul water regulation to better protect the environment, consumers and investors following a new official report. The move follows public outrage over record sewage releases by England's privatised water industry. The country's largest supplier, Thames Water, is on the brink of nationalisation with £17 billion in debt and can't pay its fines. A new report recommends scrapping the current regulator, Ofwat, and creating a new one to help struggling companies recover, which could ease fines for population.
Having four separate regulators with overlapping and conflicting remits has created a merry-go-round that has failed customers and the environment.
The General Confederation of Italian Industry has revealed that U.S. tariffs of 30% on European Union goods could shave up to 0.8% of country's gross domestic product in 2027. It noted that if tariffs were confirmed and assuming no countermeasures from the EU, Italy's GDP would take a 0.25% hit this year, rising to 0.59% in 2026 and 0.82% in 2027. Italy's main exports to the U.S. include machinery, pharmaceuticals, cars, and food products such as olive oil, pasta, and cheese. Ukrainian Defense Minister Denis Shmyhal has stated that Ukraine needs $6 billion to close this year's defense procurement gap. During an online meeting with defense officials, he noted that the additional funds would allow for the production of more drones to maintain frontline defense lines, strengthen air defense, and for deep strikes on Russia.
Contribute to providing the 5 urgently needed Patriot systems as quickly as possible.
Foreign Ministry spokesman Yu Jaikun has stated that China-EU relations stand at a crucial juncture and are poised to move forward by building on past achievements. He added that over the past half-century, China-EU relations have weathered storms and grown increasingly mature and stable, becoming one of the most influential bilateral relations in the world.
双方年贸易额从24亿美元增长到7858亿美元，相互投资存量从几乎为零增长到近2600亿美元，人员往来日益密切，在应对气候变化等领域开展了富有成效的协调合作。同时，中欧关系也面临一些挑战，欧方一些人不断强化对华关系3重定位，片面夸大经贸具体问题。 在乌克兰问题上无端指责中方，给中欧关系造成不必要的干扰。
The People's Bank of China has kept its benchmark lending rate steady as the country continues to grapple with weak consumer sentiment and softening growth. The bank held the 1-year loan prime rate at 3.0% and the 5-year loan prime rate at 3.5%. Minister of Transport Lu Wei has announced that China expanded its certified civil airports to 263 by the end of 2024. He added that the expansion marks an increase of 22 airports since the end of the 13th 5-year plan period. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has expressed the need to continue in office to deal with trade tariff negotiations with the United States and other economic issues. Following a defeat in upper house elections, he emphasized his commitment to achieve an agreement that is beneficial to both Japan and the U.S. and other pressing matters such as rising consumer prices. While Ishiba has no plans to expand his coalition, he stated that would work with opposition parties to address voter concerns about inflation. However, he cautioned that tax changes would not deliver the immediate help households need.
いつまでという期限を今考えておるわけではございません。先ほど申し上げましたように、アメリカの関税措置、あるいは物価高への対応、明日起こるかもしれない自然災害への対応、そして戦後最も複雑で厳しい安全保障環境、このような喫緊の課題について解決の道筋をつけると、全力で対応すると、そのことを申し上げておるところでございます。米国の関税措置につきましては、我が国の国益を守り抜くことを大原則に、8月1日という新たな節目も念頭に、関税ではなく投資という考え方を基盤に、日米双方にとって利益となる合意を実現をいたしてまいります。私自身もできる限り早期にトランプ大統領と直接話をし、目に見える成果を出してまいりたいと考えております。
Canadian businesses are less worried about U.S. tariffs, according to the Bank of Canada's latest quarterly survey. The report noted that the worst-case scenarios feared by firms are now seen as less likely, as the tariffs' impact has been mostly contained to the steel, aluminum and auto sectors. The number of firms expecting higher tariff-related costs has dropped significantly. Despite this, the overall business outlook indicator fell to its lowest level in a year, and investment intentions remain weak.